knowledge coming through. Some of it may resonate, some of it may not. That's okay. In my experience, that's what divine messages are all about. Not every single one is for every single person. Sometimes there's someone in the room who really needs to hear something specific. And the best thing we can all do to honor that is by allowing messages that don't resonate with us to just pass through. And this is why I say, even though I think you will probably feel the shift, I really encourage you to just let yourself have a new experience. And if there are parts of your brain that are arguing, that don't understand it, that aren't really sure if it's real, just want to be quiet for a bit and allow yourself to receive what is meant for you. Because I'm very confident that for everybody in this room, you will be able to hear something that will just, if nothing else, stick in your mind a little bit for the next couple of years until it blossoms. A little seed, if you will. Now, how do I want to start this? Obviously, I don't have a microphone, I don't have fancy speaker equipment, and that's on me. It's funny how I was going to apply to do this officially as my last speaker, talk myself out of it, and the universe would not let it go. It was one person after another, Raine, you gotta get up there. And so one of the volunteers literally took my phone and said, okay, I made an event, you edit the details later, but you're doing this. So it's just how it happens, right? So I'm gonna sit down, because if you don't already know, I'm on crutches, so I'm gonna try to protect my body. But first, I just want everyone, we're gonna start in a way that is very, very familiar for me. My name's Raine, like the weather, as I've been saying.
Do you want the mic on?
No, it's I have been a professional channel for the divine, so basically doing this skill I've coined as full body channeling for about the last year and a half as my full-time job, which is crazy. If you told me 3 years ago I'd be doing this, I would be like, that's the most insane thing I've ever heard. But the universe works in weird ways. And I'm not going to spend too much time talking about my history, how I discovered deities, how I got into my belief system, because to be honest, you're not here for me for this one. You're here for Hermes. And, I am a full-blown Omnist in the most literal sense. I believe in all gods. I have interacted with all gods. And in the last, 3 years of my life, I went from somebody who was not spiritual, didn't believe in any of this, to now having this be my full-time job and having a massive online audience I could have never dreamed of that now is having extensive jumps in their faith from witnessing this. So my hope is that for all of you today, not necessarily to prove or disprove anything, but that you actually get to really experience the love that he's being told. Because for me, that's what changed my whole mind. It wasn't that the idea of these higher powers or anything controlling my life necessarily was the breakthrough. It was feeling how much love every single one of them possesses. Every single divine being I've ever met feels like nothing but endless love. And that's what I hope for you all to experience today. So if you would, I invite you to get very comfortable if you're not already. And I want you to close your eyes, and again, as we're very used to by now, we're going to take some deep breaths in. So I want you to inhale very deeply, bring those shoulders up, and then exhale, drop them and sink into whatever you're sitting in. And then inhale again, real deep, bring those shoulders up, and then exhale like a magnet, pulling your spirit back down into your body. We're going to do this 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. Feel the feedback beneath you, like slowly touching your feet, whatever's there. Inhale. And exhale, letting go of any preconceived perceptions and just having an experience. And I want you to just settle into now a steady breath and keep your eyes closed. And I want you to keep your eyes closed until you're told to open them. And now what I'm going to do is I want you to get in touch with what the energy of this room feels right now. Really land in it. Feel the air, feel the vibes, feel the people around you, feel the setting, feel yourself. And don't reach for it. Allow the sensation to flow right through you. Just letting the energy move, letting all the distractions disappear. And now I'm going to shift the energy. I'm going to invite Hermes into this space. Not into me yet, but into this space. And I want you to just be very still and feel it shift. Hermes, you are welcome in this space. And if you would, notice in your chest region a glowing green light. And if you can, allow it to just expand effortlessly. Allow it to expand with whatever you're feeling, whether that's curiosity, whether that's skepticism, whether that's immense love, whether that is just beauty. Let it expand. And offer it. Offer it to the universe and surrender. And now I'm going to invite him to come closer. Please, Hermes, fill up the room with your energy. Let people feel you before you speak. And I just want you to be very still and notice the shifts as the energy moves through the room, slowly making its way towards the stage. And we're going to sit in stillness, and the next time I speak, he will be speaking. You may open your eyes. I will admit, this will take some getting used to. How many people here have seen Bashar? Okay, one person. That's all right. This metaphor doesn't matter that much anyway. This will be quite different. I think collectively, searching for my words here, this is always the toughest part initially. Collectively, the divine is changing our approach. Yes, there is quite a romanticism and the mysticism of things you can't understand. I think it's one of the best qualities that humans have. There is this intrigue. It's one of my favorite things about people. You cannot shake your curiosity. As insane as something sounds, when you are curious, you'll follow it to the ends of the earth. I think it is genuinely one of the best qualities that people have. And yet, there's only so much to be gained by things that you can't understand. So enter this. What can't you understand about, seemingly, a person talking to you? Much more approachable, much more easy, a little less stressful, and in some ways, feels more familiar. It's another thing about you all we've learned. While you are drawn to that which you don't understand, what is familiar makes you more receptive. At least this has been my approach. When it comes to the divine, there are endless possibilities of what can exist. And so thus, we are co-created by you. That's the beauty of this. Something I want every person in this room to understand. The divine is not something above you. How all of us exist, we are not above you. We are not something that you look to the sky, an ambiguous energy that you reach to for guidance. We walk beside you. We are in everything. Now I'm speaking very broadly. And you know, my existence is one that is not something I can compress into human language. I always try, because people are curious, and obviously it's easier to understand something that you can understand. Something that is familiar, as we said. But I'm telling you this because I want every person to understand. You've heard it before, divinity lives within you. But divinity is also around you. It's not something you need to meditate for 12 hours to access. It's not something you need to release your humanity for, even. Every person in this room was born with the birthright of being lovable, deserving to be loved, and already being loved by the divine. You in particular. Sorry to single you out, but who told you that you didn't deserve to be loved? That you had to earn it? When did that belief start? When did you start thinking, I have to deserve good things? I have to work for them? When did you start thinking that abundance was a limited resource? It isn't. There's this competitiveness that's sort of settled in, this feeling of darkness that exists, where the lie that is sold is that in order to achieve the top, it's for a select few blessed people. There's even a line now saying that this gift that's happening right now is something incredibly special. We're sure maybe not everybody can do it, but it's the exact same as a professional athlete. It's the exact same as a writer. Every single person has something to offer the world that nobody else can. And why on earth would anything limit what you could receive? We want you to do it. This is what alignment is actually about. We want you to do the thing that you're supposed to do. So when you're aligned, we go, okay, sure, have all the good things, have all the rewards. Not because you had to earn it, but because we want you to physically feel the impact that you're having on everybody else. What you share makes them feel that way. How do you feel when you get, I don't know, this is a strange concept for me, but a large deposit of money in your bank account, right? There's is it a feeling of reward? Is it a feeling of relief? Or is it stress? I don't know. You can meditate on that later. But if it is a feeling of immense relief, of immense joy, imagine that every single person who you have ever helped has made you've made them feel that way. I gotta say also, having a human channel every single time I mess up the words, it's super entertaining for me. This is not a problem I have up there. And before anyone can ask, because I know, again, human curiosity, I can't answer this. People always want to know, well, what are you? This is the answer I told Raine, because they've asked me about 5 million times, and sometimes I think they're just never going to get it, because I don't know how else to say this. Beings like me, shall we say. There's a lot of types of divinity, there's a lot of types of beings that you can't physically perceive, and I do want to break that down too, because, you know, the saying, seeing is believing and all that, obviously. In spiritual spaces, that completely decomposes, because you all understand that there's more going on than what you can see. And in science, this makes perfect sense, because you've humanized everything you're seeing around you now is a reaction of your eyes interpreting light bouncing off of things, but it can only perceive specific frequencies. So to limit yourself to believing in things that are just what you can see cuts out so much of the world. I mean, can you see bacteria? No, but you know it exists. I guess you did technically see it, you invented the microscope, but you know what I mean. Still, my point is, there is so much more going on in your world at all times, so much more support than you will ever perceive with your eyes. So do not let yourself fall prey to doubt just because it's not right there in front of you. I promise you, if you ask for it, we will provide that for you. The person sitting in front of you was the most skeptical person I may have ever met. And now look, they do this for a living. Not because they one day just decided. No, they fought us tooth and nail. They did not want to, even this, they did not want to do this. But there comes a point for every person that many of you have already experienced where you cannot deny something, where it's just one too many coincidences to write it off as a coincidence. So if you are doubting, please know it is your birthright as well to ask for confirmation, to ask for signs. But the thing we cannot help you with is trusting yourself. You have to trust yourself. If you don't trust yourself, everything is worthless, no matter what you gain. No matter what you gain, because no matter how much you have, you're going to feel like you're going to lose it at any time. And what's the point? What's the point if you achieve all the success and then all you're thinking about is when you're going to lose it? You have to trust yourself even more sometimes than you trust the divine. The two are not separate. We work together. Now back to myself, what I am. The explanation I often give is very simplified. I am very similar to all of you. I have free will, I have feelings, I have a consciousness. I am a being made of pure energy, which is what you all are. You see yourselves as solid, but that's because your eyes interpret it as something you can't pass through. You're all a bunch of vibrating molecules. I am too. It's actually what makes this possible. My full self is much bigger, but because of the fact that I exist similarly, I can integrate enough to speak with you. Now, of course, this metaphor expands further, because I'm similar to you, but I run on a different fuel, aka energy, and on a different track, aka dimension. So I don't experience things like you do. A lot of the wisdom that divinity offers you is not necessarily the fact that we know everything, or that we are even inherently perfect. This is actually something that enlightened humans understand, which is to say that for us, we can make mistakes. We can feel things like anger or sadness or even jealousy.
But we understand implicitly that every single one of those things, every single one of those sensations is perfect, that it needs to be there. We do not grapple with it like you do, and it's one of the things that we intend to teach. We want every single human to understand that the polarity of the human experience, the failure and the success, the depression and the elation, these are not separate. You're supposed to experience all of it because, again, think about the last time that something went horribly wrong for you, and then it served you in the end, right? Those things aren't separate. Think about the last time you were trying so hard to get work done and you completely burnt out, and then you rested and you recovered, and then you were able to get the thing done that you weren't able to before. The rest is not separate from the result. They are intrinsically needed for both. And now also for me, popular topic right now, I also don't experience time like you do. I don't experience it linearly. In fact, I think there's many people who are starting to fully grasp this concept, not just as an idea, but fully live it. And it is a very powerful state to be in when you understand that your present moment really is infinite. This moment right now, it's not isolated, it's not linear. It's this infinite expansion that is directly influencing everything else. Many of you are going to walk away from this changed people, and that's evidence of that. Your whole trajectory changes. And that's something I really want you all to think about as well. It just takes one moment, one conversation, one impulsive person making an event on your phone and forcing you to get in front of a stage and channel an ancient deity for 20-something people to really have immense impact on everyone around you. There's this seemingly rushed feeling that everybody contends with. This feeling of, I need to do more. I need to move faster. I have limited time. I'm running out of time. You're not running out of time. You all have exactly enough time to do what you came here to do. Exactly enough. Not a second more, not a second less. You can hold yourselves back, sure. You can get off course, sure, but then is it really off course? Some of the most miraculous people that have done the most in this life took 20-year detours, losing themselves to substance abuse, to addiction, and then they get back on track and they do miraculous things. So in that way, was it really losing the path? Were they really off path? Because without that period, they wouldn't have the message that they have. Without the suffering, the growth doesn't show. And that's a huge part of human existence. You're not striving for perfection, you're learning, you're growing. That's deserving of celebration. That's deserving of love. And that's one of the things that I desperately wish for every person to know, because there's nothing more frustrating than hearing people say, and granted, there are entire sects of people that still worship me, that still worship my pantheon, and nothing irritates me more than the narrative that I am this unreachable being, that they have to make endless offerings to connect with, that I am meant to be inaccessible, when that was never, ever, ever the case. The whole idea of why I exist, why my brothers and sisters exist, why other beings like me exist, was to support you. It was to connect with you. It was to love you. Before any of you existed, I can tell you, you were loved beyond belief. There is so much love for you, Daddy. There is endless love for you. There is no competition for it. You don't need to reach for it. And if any of you want to access this, remember, you don't need to reach. In fact, reaching pushes us away. When you're doing this, we're hitting this. We can't get here. So if you ever want to access it, relax, close your eyes, invite it. And this goes for every area of life. Invite it. Don't reach, invite. Okay? You hear a lot of words for this, law of attraction, magnetizing these things to yourself, but it's really very, very simple. Manifesting is not about creating, it's about claiming. It's about saying that I'm ready for this. I'm ready to receive it. And then aligning, which does take bravery. Everything important in your life takes bravery. Bravery is not just running into a burning building. Sometimes it's saying yes to the thing that you know you can do, but your heart's beating out of your chest anyway. And then you do it. You expand your definition of what you can be. I have to pause and think about if there's anything else I want to come here and say. Can anyone tell me the time?
12:55.
12:55. All right, so we have plenty of time here. Let me check in with everybody else, see if there's anyone else who wanted to talk or anything else I needed to say at once here. Alright. So that's everything I came to share with you. I fear that if I tell you more, we'll lose the plot. You won't get the important parts. But I am open to answering some questions. Yes?
How do we know who to ask for?
That's
I
a
know
great
it sounds
question.
funny, but I mean,
No, that is
if we ask for Archangel Michael, or I don't know, who do I ask
well,
for?
that's the beautiful. I'm so glad you asked this. Oh, I'm thrilled. All right, that's the beautiful part. If you don't know, then just be open because they'll show. I promise you. Again, Raine was not open necessarily to any of us, but we found ways to make our names known, to make our presences known. But if there is somebody you want to ask for, simply say their name. Ask for them. The thing is, if you are already bonded to certain deities, which most people are bonded to a divine being, interstellar beings, different types of beings. All of you incarnate here with endless support that you can access. With that being said, the spirits you are drawn to, the names you are drawn to, that's not a coincidence. That is in its own way them reaching for you, and you reaching back. There's a whole side tangent I could do about how many of you already have past life connections to many of us, have existed in timelines where you've known us before. So sometimes you'll meet us, truly meet us, not just praying to an amalgamous being, but really starting to experience us where you'll feel like you've met us before. That's also not a coincidence. Many of you have. And it's not to say that we only support you when there is a tie, because for us, you are beautiful and independent and wonderful. But oftentimes you will feel it. So if your question is simply how do you know who, I could say if you want to reach for someone specific, reach for who interests you, because that's not a coincidence. If you want to reach for Archangel Michael, you can say, and I mean this in the silliest way, what's up, bud? You can say that to him, truly. It's really okay. And you may notice I like to be very casual, because spirituality does not have to be so serious all the time. In fact, seriousness is often what disconnects people from actual spirituality and love and brings them into this competition with each other to try to be the most spiritual. It develops spiritual ego faster than it actually creates connection. So I say, joke around. Talk to us like your best friend. Talk to us like anyone else you talk to. Obviously, not everybody, this isn't everybody's flavor, but I would say most of us appreciate being spoken to as equals.
Well, I mean, like, this sounds sort of weird, but like, is there a list of angels, or, I mean,
Oh, sure.
you go to Google and ask, give me a list of angels.
Well,
that
this
I
is
can
a great question,
choose
yeah.
from. I don't have one that kind of hangs with me, I don't think.
Well, that's actually, funny enough, that's what a lot of people do. They go to Google and they look up a name until they find one that resonates. But the truth is, for us, the name doesn't really matter that much. Names are a very human thing that you use to categorize energy so that you all can understand and specifically communicate. That's what language is for. Every word is energy. Every word exists so that you all have a collective way to convey to each other what some experience was like for you. But that's also something to remember, by the way, everybody. When you connect with other people, words are not perfect. They are generalizations of an experience, but you all experience things individually. The same goes for our names. I've gone by a lot of names in my existence. And this timeline, I'm Hermes. Yes, that's my name. That's the one that was given to me. And I like it, of course. But it's not as important to me as it is to you. You all use this name to identify me. But truth be told, there will come a point for most people in bonding with specific energies that you don't need the name. You just feel it and you know. And it's more important to us that you connect with us on a level of how supported you feel, how loved you feel, than necessarily trying to identify who we are. Yes, and that's something else I want to add for everybody. There does exist a lot of data about different deities, different spirits, different angels. Everyone has an opinion. Please do not think too hard about it. Most of you will have an experience that does not align with what other people have written, because everything that is written was someone else's experience with us. You need to honor how you experience us. And again, feel free to Google a list of names. Sometimes it's a great way to start. It's really not silly, I promise. You would not believe how many people have found me that way. So I promise, yes. It's true that we can reach out just by saying, but that does require ahead of time and adeptness and clairaudience or some other psychic skill, and truth be told, not a lot of people start out with that. Everyone can develop it. Most of you will if you connect with divine beings, but it's not something that, especially in today's age, everybody has. So it's an effective tactic. That's why the internet exists. It makes us so much more easy to identify. So thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
How important is faith in the sense that I'm a scientist, so if I don't fully believe that you exist or that another spiritual being exists, how important is my faith, my believing, into the thing happening and the connection happening?
This is an interesting question because you're a scientist, right? You believe in science. Your faith is in science. Faith is in everything. You don't have to be spiritual. You don't have to believe that deities exist. The point of me being here is not to convince you that you need to be spiritual. Not everybody does, actually. Not everybody needs that. Your only responsibility is to live your life as authentically to you, to the best of your ability, as much as you can, as long as you can, as best as you can. If that looks like believing in deities at some point, awesome. But if not, doesn't mean we don't exist, doesn't mean we don't help you, doesn't mean we don't love you. In fact, it's a great privilege for us to be acknowledged, to be loved back. It's never a given. When anyone incarnates, it's not a given for us. But we exist to do this. It's rewarding in itself, just to love someone, just to see them grow. So in that way, if what you're asking for is how important is it for me to believe in you to get your help, not at all. You will get it regardless. But that's why there's so many belief systems, right? Some people call it the universe. Some people call it spirit. Some people call it their own manifestation powers. It really doesn't matter. There's a billion belief systems. And this is something I've actually talked about with Raine quite a lot. There is no capital R reality. Every single person has their own reality because what is real depends on what you accept. What you accept is what is real for you. And therefore, everybody has a different definition of what is real. Therefore, there is no capital R reality. However, there is a capital T truth. And capital T truth, once someone really understands it, understands why there needs to be so many different truths for different people. It's that simple. Did I answer your question? Okay.
I'll have to sit.
Yeah, sit with that. Yeah, okay. Yes. You're very far away. I'm going to come over there.
I have quite a few questions for you.
Yes, talk to me.
I will start with one. Number one, how do you feel for those belief systems around insurance
Yes, I'm going to be yes.
Oh, this is a huge question.
I will say, the simplest way I can explain this, human words, interpretations, and categories for other beings that exist. Everything is energy, everything that exists. And if you're asking me if interstellar beings exist, yes. But how can I translate this?
You said stay curious. I've never
Yes, and that's good. That's also why, I mean, oftentimes in these channels, we distinctly limit ourselves because we don't want to answer everything. We need to have you guys, we need to keep some secrets, right? The curiosity in that realm is good to a certain point. There are certain people that we've seen take it to an extreme in which it becomes another form of paranoia, and anything that becomes a distraction from love and expansion is not the way. It's not the way. But the exploration of these beings, understanding how they support you, how they help you, how they are invested in you, like all of us, that is healthy, that is good. So I know I've kind of skirted around your question a little bit, but does that help?
It leaves me curious, but don't worry, I'll keep.
That's good. Curiosity is going on.
So,
Okay.
May I ask one more question?
Yeah, sure.
We all have a purpose. So if we give up before that purpose is accomplished,
Question.
do we reincarnate and come back to accomplish that anyway?
So you've stepped into a huge question here. Okay. Again, I want to tell everybody, this is a channel, but as I told you earlier, language is limited. So I'm going to do my best.
When people cross over, you're stepping out of humanity into pure spirit. Pure spirit does not have all these human problems of suffering, of struggle, because you are connected to everything, you understand why everything exists, right? So when you cross over, a lot of the things that you thought you wanted, you no longer do. A lot of the things you struggled with, you no longer do. And all of the dead ends you see all the solutions laid out before you, and most humans go, oh, I could have just done that, are you kidding me? I have to go back. So that's what most of them do. And it's not an accident either, because every single time you incarnate, you carry that with you. So, right now, this ability didn't just come out of nowhere. It was many, 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 many steps of practicing, of getting the necessary traumas, because trauma is necessary, by the way. It's not the goal to completely avoid it, you can't, right? It exists as a balance. Everything in the universe is balanced. People often see divine beings as purely good, or some people, they see certain divine beings as bad. It's less like good and bad, more like everything exists to keep balance. So that's why I say we can have emotions. I can be angry, I can do things, make mistakes, right? Hurt people even. Not like trying to, but like you can, right? You hurt people accidentally. The difference is that for me, I understand that it's all balance. I don't fight myself on it. I understand it, right? So, does that answer your question? Great, awesome. Okay, and yes, we know each other. All right.
So we talked earlier about just needing to invite it in. And as you know, I've been struggling with coming back from meditation for
What time is it?
106.
Perfect.
I've been struggling with coming back to meditation for a long time. And so I've done Rachel Pringle's thing right now. And one of the things that I was trying to release is exactly that. Inviting that, letting it go. And it seemed to be working. And then I ended up with being completely disabled. I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. What is it that I need to be doing? Because I've gotten a message.
Right there. You just said it. What is it that I need to be doing? What if I told you the answer is nothing?
I've gotten a message that I need to remember if I can do this, and I'm not sure how to.
Yes, but that doesn't happen all at once. Sometimes we intentionally block you all out from everything because we need you to pause. Because you're trying to go, 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 go. You're running out of time. You're running out of time. But we're like, you're not there yet. We're not ready. You need time. You're not supposed to be doing anything yet. When it is time for you to reawaken it, you will remember. And yes, you do need to. It eventually will happen. But that's a part of receiving. I'm going to get up here so I can actually see everybody. But that's a part of receiving. It's understanding that you will have exactly what you need when you need it. I cannot tell you how many times I have listened in the last 2 days of Raine run through every version of this talk and how it was going to go and what I was going to say and trying to think about it. What am I going to do? What am I going to say? Only for, you kept telling me, when you get there, you'll know. It's exactly what happened. Right now, channeling. They weren't sure they were going to be able to do it, but it's effortless, right? It's like that. When you're hitting a block, when you're thinking, I'm trying everything, nothing's happening, I can't feel anything, I don't know what to do. That means you're exactly where you need to be. The pause is sacred. The void is sacred. The most spiritual people understand the importance of not being spiritual, of taking breaks to just be human, of disconnecting, of just accepting that sometimes life is really hard. And these voids, the reason why you all want to move past them makes total sense to me. It's super uncomfortable. It feels awful. We want to be connected to love all the time because love feels good. Of course it feels good. We want you all to have it. It heals everything. We want you to seek out love. But balance. Love cannot be without pain. Anyone you've ever loved, the more you love them, the more it hurts when you lose them. And the same applies with spirituality. The more connected you are, the more lost you feel when you're not. So you want to immediately go, what can I do? How can I fix this? But that's also self-blame. You don't need to blame yourself. Remember, you are part of a team. If they wanted you to remember, they could also just hand it to you, right?
But that's the part that confused me because they were handing it to me during this thing and then it just poofed.
Exactly. Exactly. It's not supposed to make sense. Just know that it is what it's supposed to be. Again, to give you all another personal example here, we shut Raine out completely from us the last 3 days. And they're sitting here like, I'm supposed to be channeling Hermes tomorrow. I haven't talked to him in 3 days. What is going on? But we're all sitting there like, yeah, that's what we're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be feeling like that. You're supposed to be panicking so that when it works out, you go, oh, yeah, I didn't need to worry after all. Okay, yeah, everything was fine. That's what we're trying to train you to do. Not avoid the feeling, not bypass it, fully be in it so that the next time it happens, you remember that. You go, oh, this was fine last time. When you get through this, you will also look back at this and be like, oh, okay, I was fine. I was fine. It came back. You will be okay. You need to pause because you love us so much. You are so connected to us. We need you to have time for yourself sometimes. We'll give you glimpses because we love you. But you're exactly where you need to be. Okay? I feel
like there's something else that I need to know and I don't know.
Because you're human. That's all you ever do. There's something else I need to know. Of course there is. You just don't know it yet. Time is not linear. You're just getting a glimpse of the future when you do know. But it's not now. Any other questions?
What's the difference between you and what are called guides?
None.
Okay.
Easy. Next question.
There you go. You're all the same.
We are.
Okay.
People put us in different belief systems, but we're all guides. That's what we are. The main difference for different guides is just simply how we came to be. Deities like me, this is something that I'm going to see if Raine will let me say it because it's newly integrated knowledge for them. Cool. They're far enough away. Deities like me. We were created by you, and we also created you. We created each other. So, human belief system basically created identities for us. I already existed, but that's why, I'm considered a Greek deity, because the Greek people created a persona for me. I didn't have that. I wasn't human. So now I get to have this beautiful vessel, this identity, that I can use to connect with all of you. That's why I say it's frustrating when people say, like, oh, I need to make 1 million offerings for Hermes before he'll talk to me. No, that's not what I was made for. I was made to do this, to talk to all of you. Just not literally, but that's what Raine was made for, was to do this. So we're bridging that gap. Next question, anyone? Yes. Here, I'll come to you, it's okay. So your question is how to find that balance? Is that what you're saying?
I'm sometimes feel afraid of going beyond in the positivity because I'm afraid that then you will in balance. So if you are feeling excited,
I see. You're fearing the big
being also on the upside.
Yeah, so you fear the pendulum.
Yes.
I understand. Okay. I'm going to tell you something you've heard a lot this week, perhaps 2 weeks. That is what being present is all about. Because then you're not worried about the pendulum swing. You're not worried about what you do. You're experiencing this. What you're saying is, I fear that I get too excited and then go to hardship. You can't avoid experiencing hardship, just like you can't stop yourself from being happy. The idea, the balance here, is that you are surrendered to both. It's that you understand that you will experience great joy in this lifetime. You will also experience great suffering. Neither one should be more important or less important than the other. They both make you who you need to be. So you don't need to fear the suffering because you can handle it. That's the self-trust. It's saying, I know no matter what I face, I can walk through it. And I know no matter what I face, I will be happy again, even when I don't feel it. The balance is being able to stay present in what you are experiencing without worrying about the future, without looking on to the past. Just experiencing fully what it feels like to be human in that moment. That is what creates a fulfilling life. It's not about accomplishments. It's not about It's not about accomplishments. It's about being able to make the most of every moment. Some of the most happy, fulfilled people that crossed over did nothing anyone would ever know of in their lifetime. They just enjoyed it every moment. That means when things got bad, they felt it. They leaned into it. When they crossed over, they had nothing left that they wish they did or didn't do, because they didn't run from the human experience. It's the number one thing that most people regret. It's also, fun fact about my mythology, I'm a psychopomp, I guide souls over, so I do know what I'm talking about. When people cross over, the number one thing they regret is not fully experiencing humanity more. When they understand fully how their life could have looked, that they could have used their suffering for this, they could have leaned into it. It's actually the thing that most spirits miss the most, is that feeling something when they cross over. It's why they reincarnate. They miss feeling. They miss the pain, even. They miss the intensity of everything. It's not as intense up there. So that's what I would tell you. You don't need to worry about the swing. You need to accept that both are going to happen, but that both are actually very beautiful and a part of the wondrous miracle that is being human. It's something very unique to you. This also, can I get a time check?
15.
Perfect. I'll take yours.
I'm so glad that you said that you help spirits cross over. It's one of my gifts as well. And detaching entities from people, I've noticed that it's on a science basis because of the frequency they're emitting when they attach. That's my understanding of it. That's number one. Okay. Number two is when we do remove the entity from the being, is it indeed, when we fill them with that love, are they able to cross over and finally get to the other side, or are they still lingering and just detached?
That's a good question. So, the lingering, when we accept that everything's right? Yes. This actually goes across in a lot of people want to know that are very attached to deities. We want to be with you, want to focus on all these things. All of it comes down to your soul's attachments. So if the soul attaches, if the soul attaches deeply enough to suffering, to trauma, things here, and they cannot let go of, they will stay. And when you separate it, they're like a little balloon. They just work. Because that's the natural state. You guys naturally ascend. That's what you do. That is your thing, right? Yes. So this is actually why we do this so beautiful. Because you are literally helping them shed those energetic attachments so they can do what they naturally do. No, but also that's a part of our job too, just to take some pressure off you. Part of what we do as well, and we is helping the spirits release, but it actually works better in the physical because a lot of times when they're stuck here, it is physical attachment. So when physical people release those attachments, it's much more powerful. That's why I say we're made to work together. I don't have a physical body. I don't. I can't literally make Raine go eat when I want them to eat. I can't make them take care of themselves. I can't make them sit when they need to sit. They have control of that. All I can do is be in their head going, Raine, you need to sit down. You need to rest. You're pushing yourself too hard. You don't need to be here. Raine, you're supposed to be doing this. I can't make them do it. That's the gift of being physical. You have influence. You can go get someone that glass of water. You can go sit down. You can go do a class. You can go stand up on stage and inspire other people. You can do all of that. What a blessing, right? Now on that note, I'm going to give the body back to Raine. I hope you all will give them a very warm welcome because they were unbelievably nervous to do this. So I want everyone to close their eyes again, same as you did for me. And just, I want you to take a couple moments to absorb everything you felt. And if you just want bonus points, extra credit if you will, see if you can feel my spirit leave. All right, everyone take a deep breath in and exhale. This is awkward. All right. Now why am I doing this? I need to sit here.
Sit down, lady.
He's way more comfortable being up here than I am. All right. How's everyone feeling? Yeah.
Right there.
Thank you. I always feel a little spacey. Yeah.
I just want to thank Raine because I'm through the discomfort.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I am Raine, by the way.
Because I know you were nervous.
I was.
knew you needed to do.
Yeah. I also, that was the funny thing. all last year had planned on applying to be a speaker. Chickened out last minute, was way overwhelmed before, couldn't do it. Showed up here, thought, okay, I'll do a tribe event. But the whole time I was thinking, I'll do a meditation. I'll let people meet these beings in like their own way. But the universe was like, no, Raine, you know what you need to do. They've been showing me visions of doing this for the whole last year. And I was like, no one's ready for that. No one's ready to hear an ancient Greek god get up here and talk to them. And they were like, no, they're ready. And then everything fell into place. Every single little thing just kept lining up. And I was like, okay, I trust you guys. We'll see what happens. So now I'm really curious to hear from you guys. How much time do we have exactly? 10 minutes? I'm really curious to hear what you all got out of that, how you feel right now. Because this is my first time, by the way, doing this live on stage. I've only ever done like one-to-one sessions with people, or like online live streams. So this is something new. Anyone? Would anyone like to share?
Natural and comfortable.
Yeah. Beautiful. I'm glad to hear that. For real. It's making me nervous that nobody's raising their hand.
The overall energy was very uplifting. It
Yeah.
was very soothing. Before Hermes showed up, so to speak, the energy was a little bit not as coherent, but then as the energy was a lot more soothing.
Yeah.
What I found for myself was that even I did not need to ask a question personally. I would receive an answer directly.
Yeah.
And it was just so easy.
Yes.
Smooth.
And you really just fill up like the whole room. It's kind of crazy. Yes.
Yeah, for me too. I was about to ask a question and then I kind of like received the answers. Like, that's interesting. And then my mind is very visual. I would see things. And but I have a question for you, Raine.
Yeah, sure.
I've heard that all of us can actually channel. And it feels like when I get into that state, there's one state when I kind of like let my ego and all my knowledge kind of like sideways. If I prepare something for something really important, and if I think about all the things that I have, you know, the strategy and everything, things don't go as I expected. But when I just let myself kind of go and like relax and like whatever the download is going to be at that moment, it seems like everything seems like flow. So how do you actually notice or catch that sense of, or kind of like join that sense of like being prepared for something? Like having the knowledge and all the things
You are
that you want to
speaking my
say.
language, friend.
Kind of like let also the flow of source speaking through you.
This is a beautiful question, because actually before today I might not have had an answer. But the answer I came to with this exact situation was you have to trust that in the moment you'll know what to do. Planning is just your brain trying to protect you from an unwanted outcome. It's giving you false sense of security, going, I can control it if I know what I'm gonna do, but you can't, you don't know anything about what's gonna happen, right? So I think like that's the key, right? And that's again, part of staying present. It's one of the hardest things for us to do because everything in the world is like a distraction right now. Everything, like our phones are like the biggest. But that's what I've come to understand is part of it is that self-trust, knowing that in the moment you'll know exactly what to do when you need to do it, which is the co-creation between you and higher powers, right? And then the other half is acknowledging that the part of you that wants to plan every little detail is looking for security, it's looking for safety, and that safety can come in just saying to yourself, I trust that no matter what comes, I can handle it, right? I can handle it. That's much more secure, much safer than trying to plan out every little detail, especially in a situation like this where there's tons of other people in the room. I have no control over what any of you are going to do, right? I can't plan that out at all. And so that's where surrender comes into. That's why I find surrender to be really healing, because it's really just saying like, I trust not only the universe, but I trust myself. And that can really help you find that stability, that flow state, I think, easier. Yeah.
I think, sorry if I went to
It's okay.
like I'm an artist and I work a lot with lots of training various original artists as well. And there's something about the flow state and the presence, and it all comes from the same. You open yourself up to channels, whether it's creative expression or whether it's a verbal expression. It's like that authentic being in the moment. It is that presence. And you have to allow yourself to step into it. And most people find that the scariest thing of everything.
Yeah.
But it's the most beautiful thing of everything because it's the complete and energetically with the chakra system and everything, it's like the manifesting of an idea into physicality, and then the physicality kind of being, I can't remember what the other person did, but I had a whole story about that. But It's trusted.
Yeah, it's trust. All right, lovelies. I'm going to clear myself off the stage. You're all welcome to come up to me, ask questions, talk to me.
Thanks so much.
Of course.
Thank
Been a
you.
pleasure.
Thank you.